Hello, welcome. Today we're going to be looking at a new deck for the first time in forever. This is heavily inspired by one of DA's decks that I faced, where he just machine gunned me with a Mordnoth for like 20 damage. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. This is a much more aggressive take on what his deck did. So the basic idea here is in the current meta, Dragons was pretty strong. They got nerfed, but you still have a lot of buildings being played. So all you do is you add Kaiju, which helps counter those, and it's also just a beefy boy. So even if you don't counter the buildings, he's just a decent body for the price. So why not? And then you also run King Kaiju, and this isn't really to counter buildings per se. This is to snipe off their supply depot. So when you do play your Mordnoth, well, first of all, you're up one card, which is nice for Mordnoth because you want to have as many skeletons in your hand as possible. And then he also is a big body that they have to worry about, and he lets your Mordnoth deal 5 more damage, which is just nice. So King Kaiju, very key piece of this deck. If you don't see too many buildings, you can always trade out Kaiju for something else. But overall, just to run through, we got Ninja Training to help us find our key pieces. We've got Army of Dead to help us get skeletons. Corpse Explosion to deal with Swarm. Sensei just helps us get more cards. Skeletal Warrior helps us look for a Mordnoth and our Norabons. Headless Horseman, just nice draw, nice removal. Kaiju, already covered that. Multi-Strike, really phenomenal removal and helps you get your beatdown units to face. Reaper, just you kind of need it for tombs. Dark Magician lets you get skeletons in hand from your tombstones, and also he's a decent body. Amaiwa, just fantastic removal. Ronan is a big body for when you play removal into him or when they trade your board. You can just play him and then you're ahead on tempo automatically. Spell Surge is a little bit of an iffy choice for this deck. You can trade him for something else. He's a decent body and he has synergy with the removal in this deck and the spells. So you can get a lot of value out of him, but it's kind of hit or miss from my experience. If you pick something better, feel free. Phantom Horse is just a nice skeleton flex pick who can also counter things like Elephant, which this deck doesn't like Mordnothing into an elephant, so you probably want to Phantom Horse that. So he kind of helps Mordnoth and helps with one of Mordnoth's counters. Norbon, just decent value. Nice to try to set up the turn before Mordnoth, but it doesn't happen that much in my experience. He's kind of just in here to utilize some tombs and get some value. And then Mordnoth is one of your key pieces where you can just machine gun down their castle, and King Kaiju is one of your key pieces. So for lack of creativity, I just called this deck Big Boy Beatdown. And let's go ahead and try this out in a match and see if it performs. Because mainly, like, the things that will carry you, you'll notice, is getting a little bit of chip in the early game. Something you can consider adding is, as a flex pick, I really like Salhar Rider. Because it allows you to, when you like Sensei or Skeletal Warrior, your opponent almost always plays a peasant to block. So all you do is you just Salhar Rider the peasant, and you're getting a free 2 or 3 chip on their face. And it works. A lot of the time they won't have the removal to deal with Salhar, and you'll get another 3 or 2 chip the next turn. So that really adds up. Like 6 chip on turn 3 is a really nice thing to do. There really aren't any downsides to that. Some other things you can consider flexing in is like Spirit Bomb isn't bad. It's not amazing though, because you do have these big bodies that machine gun down, your opponent's structures, and you can capitalize on it. It just doesn't always work out that way. But you do have things like Ronan, which is 6 health. You have things like Spell Surge Adept, which you can play it on, and it gets an attack off it as well. So honestly, it's an interesting flex pick in here because average you're going to be getting like 4 or 5 damage out of it, and then on the high end, it can really help with some damage. but that's not a complete endorsement for it. I'm going to keep King Kaiju in this opening hand, and I think I'm going to go Headless and Spell Surge. Oh, I forgot the volume's off. So let me bump some tunes here. But yeah, for the most part, you know, not a bad thing to do if you want to run a little bit of that. I'm just gonna pass here. I want to have coin for King Kaiju. He's gonna go for a Skeletal Crewman, so I'm just going to Peasant here. And if he can trade with that, I'll just Headless. I mean, if he can, like, play a spell to get rid of it. I mean, I'll take 2 chip in exchange for that. We're gonna be looking at coining after Spell Surge, because I do have the Ninja Training, which I can look for removal with. So I would prefer to, like, place Spell Surge turn 4, coin Ninja Training, and look for removal. If it doesn't work out that way, it doesn't work out that way. This is a pretty easy math equation here. I'm just gonna trade, play, Headless. It's, nothing too tricky. We get a Maiwa, which is actually pretty nice. Our hand is looking pretty stacked. We'll see what he wants to do into us here. Okay. Get a Trapdoor Ninja. And a Trap. So, realistically here, I think I'd just call his bluff. This could be the kill on attack trap, which would be very unfortunate. But I think I do this. I coin here. And I Ninja Training. And hopefully it's not that trap. And I think I do take a multi-strike. And we'll see what he does this turn. Now, if it's not that attack trap, then we are going to be chilling. Unless he has a Maiwa, in which case we're still chilling. But just less chilling. Turn 6 is always looking at King Kaiju here. Like, there's never really a reason not to play it. Let me just go ahead and turn that off for the time being. I normally play with chat on. Things can get a little wild sometimes. I've seen some very interesting conversations happen. So he's going to go for a workout, which is fine. And he's going to move up, which means that's probably the attack trap. Like, let's be real here. This is rather unfortunate for us, because I can't really trigger it. I don't want to trigger it. So what I think I do here is... Oh, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. Oh, I'm going to destroy him. This guy's... It's literally done so. That's it. He's having a bad day now. So he's trying to fake me out. Make me think that it was the tack trap. It was not the tack trap. It's always good to test those theories. Now this could be the tack trap. But we have an Omaiwa to test. So we'll see. King Crab. Okay, interesting. I think it's worth bouncing the King Crab if it is that. It is that. So I'm going to get 8 damage here. He is going to get a lot of chip. But I don't think that's a bad thing. And then I will be playing my Kaijir to hopefully alleviate some of this King Crab chip here from it costing 0. That's interesting. King Crab with the bounce trap. Very, very interesting. I've never really made a King Crab build work before. I've tried. Like, I've tried. I've tried the one where it puts it to the bottom of your deck. I've tried the one where you draw through your whole deck and then you put it back in your deck. and none of them really work, unfortunately. We're always doing a King Kaiju here. That's a pretty easy peasy one. And then just hit here and pass. I think he's folding here. I don't think he's making it out. Because, like, he's got the King Crab. But beyond that, I don't really think he's got gas in the tank to deal with this. And if I draw Mordnoth, it's over. You can also get Mordnoth off of your Dark Magicians. Okay, interesting. He's gonna... He does have gas in the tank. That's a really... So, Cosmic Equation is super interesting, just because it is straight removal. In a deck like this, it can definitely work, because you have the King Kaiju, so that's actually... That's food for thought right there. That is a very interesting card to splash. I might start doing that, just to make myself look cool, you know. But, yeah, you can also... You can do that for Ronin, too. Cosmic Equation, not bad. That's what I'm trying to say here, I think. We're gonna go... Let's go Dark Magician here. Into a multi-strike. We got our little King Kaiju stomping around the board. That's actually kind of cute, I'm not gonna lie. Unfortunately, he's gonna die this turn. But, oh well. It is what it is. Turn tack back on. Okay. We'll go ahead... I mean, let's go for a little bit of draw. Player Mordnoth here. I don't see a reason not to. Pass. If I were him, I would trade here, bounce, play again. If he has the bounce, assuming. I'm assuming this is like bounce King Crab, which is interesting. Except you can't really bounce King Crab. But it is what it is. Oh, okay. That's actually more efficient. That's a good play. Not too shabby. I'm gonna go back to muting. Let's see. What are we gonna do here? We can hypo headless. I think we do hypo headless go face. We can't hypo headless go face. This kind of works out the same no matter what. So let me just hypo headless play Ronin, I think. Correct play here. And then we'll probably draw a board off of our Skelly. It's 50-50 to draw Mord here, because I got both my Phantoms. I mean, he's kind of cooked. Because it's just a waiting game until I draw it. I have 9-12 damage in hand from it. With the potential to draw 3 more Skellies. From Jen. Yeah, we're probably going to get lethal here. He's still holding that crab, though. He's still got it. Probably see an appearance this turn. We shall see. Okay, little Kage action. Gonna bounce it. So now that he's got his Kage engine going, that's mildly annoying. Kage engines are a little bullshittery, but it is what it is. Good to see his head clipping on the tile. Okay, Trapdoor Ninja. No bounce? Oh, that's a little rough then. No bounces. GG's, I think. Is it not? So I go boop. I go boop. Which is fine. Oh, we could kill him in style next turn. I think we can machine gun it. I don't think there's a reason not to machine gun it here. We go boop and we go boop. I just want to see the machine gun go. I'm sorry, I'm heating it down. The machine gun will be going burr at this moment in time. So yes, I could have had lethal there, and yes, this is technically BM, but it's for a purpose. I want to see the more knots go crazy. So a lot of the times you won't need more knots. For decks that are more efficient, you are almost always going to need them as your win con, and sometimes he won't even get you the win, and you just need to play from a head position with him on the field. But he basically always gets you to that ahead position. The only games you are going to lose is when you play him, you're in a head position, and they manage to gap that position, and then you're going to lose. Oh, interesting. Okay, I still think I win this, but we'll see. That's a lot of health he's got on the board. That is indeed a lot of health. We also have a lot of burr though, so it is what it is. Okay, very interesting game. We got a couple champ players. I am not a champ player, just for reference. I'm just a Diamond 2 scrub, but it is what it is.